Have you ever had one of those moments where you come to realize, wow, I'm old? I had a few of those moments over the past few weeks that have just kind of blown my mind. I don't understand how I could have gotten to where I've gotten. Here's the situation for me right now. I've got a daughter who's 21 who just got her first apartment. That's a big change. I've got a daughter who turns 18 in just a few days who just graduated from high school and is getting ready to go to college. That's a big change. And I've got a son who just turned 16 a couple of months ago and is driving and beginning to put those kind of things into practice in his life. And that's a big change. And I'm sitting here thinking, how in the world did I get to this place? And so the last few days, that has caused me to do a lot of reflecting. I've been thinking all the way back to my own high school career. I pulled out some of my old creative writing materials and some of the stories and poems that I wrote when I was a junior and senior in high school. I started thinking about college and looking through some of the memories and the books and things that I had from then. And I've thought back over the different ministries that I've been a part of and thought of some of the people that I've been connected with, some of them that I'm still connected with, others that I don't know where they've gone in life or what's happened. And I'm thinking about all of the time that has passed. And then it was driven home to me even more poignantly a couple of nights ago when the daughter, the friend of my daughter, one of her friends, she told me, she goes, 48? I thought you were like 35. I really liked to hear that, but I didn't really like to hear that. Where'd the time go? And has it been put to the best use? And so see, I'm sitting here thinking about all these things now of how effective is my time use? How am I making the impact on the lives around me that I need to make an impact on? Am I making an impact on the lives that are closest to me that I need to be making an impact on, such as the lives of my family, my wife, my kids, such as the people in my church, my friendships, the relationships I have with so many people here in this community because of being here in this church. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, okay, it's been so many years since I graduated from high school, so many years since I graduated from college, so many years since my kids have been born. And now I'm pushing that into the future and thinking, how many years do I have to do what I'm doing? How is God going to work through the coming years in the different relationships that I have, the different situations that I'm in? And then I'm wondering, how do I handle this? How do I continue to grow to be the person that I need to be in each of those situations? How do I need to continue to grow in order to be the person that God wants me to be in each of those relationships? And I'm struggling, maybe not struggling, I'm striving to understand how best I can be the person that my daughter, who just graduated and is having some serious life changes as she gets ready to leave the stability of high school and go to a new place for college. How do I effectively parent her through that transition? How do I help her make that transition as seamlessly and easily as possible without making it to where that she expects me to be there for everything, where she learns how to handle transitions in life on her own? Those are some of the questions that I am dealing with in my life right now. I don't know where you are in your life. Maybe you've got kids that are in the same position, or maybe you've already been there, or maybe that's yet to come. If you've already been there, it would be helpful if you would leave a comment or reach out and tell me some of the biggest struggles that you had during those transition times. Or maybe reach out and leave me some tool or some resource or some strategy that you found effective and that was really helpful. What worked? What didn't work? How did you approach seasons like this? How are you approaching seasons like this? Or what do you anticipate in seasons like this? Because I think that as the church, even as a community, whether that's a community here in this local town where I live, or the community we've created around this website, or even just the greater community of people who are online and interacting through social media and those kinds of things, I think we have resources that we can help one another do different things. So how best do we go about that? What ways can we make sure we can help each other? Because we're all facing transitional times in our lives. I mean, as a country, we faced a pretty crazy year already with the possibility of an impeachment process at the beginning of the year, and then the potential of war shortly after that, and then COVID-19, and now the riots and the protests and the things that are going on. This has been a turbulent year at best. And in the middle of that, one daughter is finishing up some college and had to finish the semester online, and then moved into her own apartment in the middle of all that. Another daughter is moving down to a different city in the fall after graduating and going through all of that in the middle of her final year of high school. And all my other kids, too, have had similar different examples of things that have happened to them. So how do we handle those things? I think, in fact, I've heard it over and over and over. I have no idea who said it originally. But the only thing certain in life is that it will change. Somebody else said the only certain thing in life is death and taxes. But the only constant is change. Things will change. And so as a person and as a minister, as a pastor, I have to embrace a culture of change, because if I am not ready for change, then I am not equipped to change when change becomes necessary. So that means maybe the best thing I can do is consistently, continuously adopt a strategy of changes so I'm used to that. So I'm accustomed to that. So our church is ready for that. So that when the big changes do happen, like shutting down everything for 2 months so that we can move to a completely online presence only because of a pandemic, then we're not caught off guard. How do we go about change? I think it's a valid thing that we need to think about. I think it's a valid question we need to ask ourselves. What's the best way that I can make sure that I am ready to embrace the change that comes my way, to handle the change that comes my way, and to allow God to work through situations even like that in order to bring me closer to Him for my good, for His glory. That's my random thought for this week. Maybe it'll spark some thoughts in your brain too. I don't know. I hope it does. If you have something to contribute to the conversation, please leave a comment and let me know. And let's try to grow through some of these changes together. Have a great week. I will see you soon.